Father Gregory Walters had been the heart and soul of St. Augustine Parish for over 4 decades. At 72 years old, he was a fixture in the community, a man whose wisdom, compassion, and serene demeanor had earned him the unwavering respect of everyone who crossed his path. He was a confidant to the troubled, a guide to the lost, and a friend to those in need. But underneath his gentle exterior, Gregory was beginning to feel the weight of a life dedicated to solitude. His vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience had once been a source of strength, but as the years wore on, they began to feel like a prison. Enter Sarah Connors, a bright 22-year-old college junior at St. Augustine University, majoring in theology. With her fiery red hair, emerald green eyes, and boundless curiosity, Sarah was a beacon of energy in the otherwise somber church environment. She had recently begun volunteering at the parish as part of a campus outreach program, and her vivacity was a breath of fresh air for the aging priest. Sarah quickly became involved in organizing charity events, helping with food drives, and assisting with various parish activities. She was eager to learn, often staying after Mass to discuss theology with Gregory. He admired her intellect and the passion she brought to their conversations, and she was equally fascinated by his depth of knowledge. The connection between them was instantaneous, though it began innocently enough. They would sit for hours after services discussing everything from early Christian history to modern-day religious dilemmas. Their bond was built on mutual respect, but as the months passed, Gregory began to sense something more, an unspoken attraction that he fought to suppress. As the days grew shorter and autumn settled over the town, Sarah's visits became more frequent. She'd stay late into the night, helping Gregory clean the sanctuary after events, and they would continue their discussions long after the others had left. One evening, as they lingered in the darkened church, Sarah confided in Gregory about her struggles with faith. She expressed doubts about God, fear about her future, and the uncertainty of her place in the world. For the first time in years, Gregory found himself opening up to someone, sharing his own fears about loneliness and isolation, the pain of never having experienced the human connection he so desperately craved. That night, as the moonlight streamed through the stained glass windows, their conversation took an unexpected turn. What started as a moment of vulnerability ended with a stolen kiss. It was fleeting but charged with emotion, a spark that quickly ignited into something more dangerous. What began as an illicit attraction soon escalated into a full-blown affair. For Sarah, it was the allure of forbidden love, a passion she had never known, an intimacy that was both thrilling and terrifying. She felt drawn to Gregory not just for his wisdom, but for the raw emotion he offered, a stark contrast to the calm, controlled figure he portrayed to the outside world. For Gregory, it was a reawakening, a reminder that he was still alive, still capable of love. But it was a love built on secrecy, a love he knew was wrong but could not escape. It was also a love of compassion. He was also scared to do the unthinkable. He would lose the love he knew was wrong but could not escape. They stole moments together in the dark corners of the church, exchanging heated kisses and desperate confessions, each encounter more intense than the last. But as their relationship deepened, so did the web of lies they wove. Parishioners began to notice subtle changes in Gregory's behavior. He was distracted during his sermons, his once eloquent speeches now scattered and unfocused. He seemed to be lost in thought, as if his mind were elsewhere. Sarah, too, began to show signs of the strain. She was distracted in class, and her friends started to whisper about her late-night disappearances and the strange, cryptic texts she would receive during lectures. Emily, Sarah's best friend from freshman year, began to grow suspicious. Emily had noticed the subtle changes in Sarah's behavior. Her unease, her constant checking of her phone, her unexplained absences. One evening, unable to ignore her instincts, Emily decided to follow Sarah to the church. She watched as Sarah entered the rectory, disappearing inside for hours. When Sarah finally emerged, Emily confronted her. At first, Sarah tried to deny it, but the truth came pouring out. In a moment of vulnerability, she admitted everything. She begged Emily to keep the secret, pleading with her not to expose the affair. Though Emily felt torn, she reluctantly agreed, though the guilt ate away at her. But the truth was a powerful thing, and secrets have a way of unraveling. It wasn't long before Sarah's boyfriend, Jake, a hot-headed college football player, stumbled upon the evidence of the affair. Jake had always been possessive of Sarah, and when he found incriminating text messages on her phone, he exploded with rage. Confronting Sarah, he demanded to know how she could betray him with an older man. He ranted. Sarah tried to downplay the situation, but Jake was furious. He refused to believe her, and soon his obsession with exposing the affair grew. He began stalking Sarah, showing up uninvited at her classes, her dorm room, and even the church. Jake's obsession with uncovering the truth drove him to desperate measures. One night, he broke into the rectory, hoping to catch Sarah and Gregory together. But instead of discovering them in a compromising position, he stumbled upon an argument between Gregory and Father Michael. Father Michael, a strict traditionalist who had long held suspicions about Gregory's behavior, had confronted him earlier that week, demanding that he end the relationship with Sarah or face severe consequences. The argument escalated quickly, with Gregory attempting to defend his actions, claiming that he and Sarah were in love. Jake, hiding in the shadows, recorded the entire argument on his phone. Armed with this damning evidence, he planned to expose Gregory for the scandal he had become. But before he could act, Sarah discovered Jake's plan. Panicking, she begged him to delete the recording, but Jake refused. In a moment of sheer desperation, Sarah lashed out. She shoved him down a flight of stairs in the bell tower. The sound of his body hitting the floor echoed through the church. Horrified by what she had just done, Sarah ran to Gregory, confessing her crime. Together, they made a fateful decision to cover up the death. They moved Jake's body to a nearby wooded area, staging it to look like a robbery gone wrong. But their hastily planned cover-up was doomed to fail. Emily, racked with guilt over her role in keeping Sarah's secret, finally went to the police. Detective Laura Harris, a seasoned investigator known for her sharp instincts, was assigned to investigate Jake's death. At first, it appeared to be a straightforward case. A young man had been mugged and murdered in the woods. But as Harris dug deeper, she began to uncover inconsistencies in the timeline of events and witness statements that didn't quite add up. Her investigation led her to Sarah, Gregory, and Father Michael, and soon, whispers of the affair began to surface. Father Michael, realizing the investigation was closing in on the truth, came forward with a key piece of evidence, a journal belonging to Gregory, filled with his confessions about his feelings for Sarah and the secret meetings they had shared. The journal painted a clear picture of a man consumed by his own guilt and passion, and it was the final nail in Gregory's coffin. He was arrested and charged with murder, and the scandal rocked the parish to its core. But the truth didn't end there. In a shocking twist, it was revealed that Father Michael had orchestrated the entire affair. Jealous of Gregory's position of power within the church, Michael had manipulated Sarah, preying on her vulnerabilities and planting the idea of seducing Gregory in order to discredit him. He had meticulously engineered the situation, watching as Sarah and Gregory fell into his trap. This was the same statement Michael had made when he was preaching to meetings of Mormons, and he did this so effectively. His goal all along had been to destroy Gregory's reputation and take his place as the head of St. Augustine Parish. When Sarah learned the truth, she was devastated. She realized that her love for Gregory had been built on lies and manipulation. Her actions had led to Jake's death, and she was left to pick up the pieces of her shattered life. Gregory, too, was heartbroken. He had been a pawn in Michael's twisted game, and now he was facing the consequences of his own weakness. In the aftermath, Gregory was defrocked and sentenced to prison for his role in the cover-up. Sarah, though spared jail time, was expelled from St. Augustine University and faced public scorn for her involvement in the scandal. Father Michael was excommunicated, his career and reputation destroyed. He disappeared from public view, never to be seen again. Detective Laura Harris, haunted by the case, couldn't help but reflect on the destructive power of secrecy, jealousy, and manipulation. The once revered St. Augustine Parish was left in ruins, a shattered community that had been torn apart by the darkest of sins. It was a reminder that even the holiest of places could harbor the most sinister of secrets. This case is absolutely wild, isn't it? The layers of betrayal, manipulation, and tragedy are just mind-blowing. A priest tangled in an affair, a jealous rival pulling the strings, and a desperate cover-up that ends in murder. This story has it all. It really makes you wonder how far people are willing to go when jealousy and desperation take over. What do you think? Could Gregory have avoided this? Or was he doomed the moment Father Michael started scheming? Let me know your thoughts because I'm still processing how everything unraveled. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll catch you in the next one. The names, the details, and the sentences of this case are not real. These made-up scenarios allow us to explore suspenseful situations without exploiting real-life tragedies. Our goal is to create thought-provoking mysteries while respecting the privacy and dignity of real people. Thank you for watching, and let us know your thoughts below.